everyone can sort of infer what the most glamorous parts of the job are. What is the hardest part of your job thus far?
I mean, it's the constant motivating people to be better than what they were the day before.
Hmm.
You know, being consistent with my message, being consistent with the way I communicate, and being consistent with the way I treat people. So regardless of who you are, it doesn't matter. What it's the way you treat people with fairness and the way you treat people, the way you leave that effect on them. That's how they keep coming back to you.
One thing that I learned early on, and obviously you can speak to this better than I, from the outside world, people assume that, like, when someone signs to a record label, for instance, or in your case, a team, that they've made it, when in fact the journey is
Mm,
beginning, right? I mean,
ab-
sustaining that ability, because there's always someone coming to take your spot.
Absolutely. I mean, they have this thing that happens every year. It's called NBA draft. Every year is going to be 60 people that are drafted to take your position. So I remind my guys every year there's a draft to replace you. I
Hmm.
call it the replacement system. So once you get there, the journey begins a new slate. So as you get there, the biggest thing is developing the right routine, developing the right um, system that allows for you to be as sharp as possible in your game, because you will be replaced. You and I will be replaced. It's just a matter of time.
I would assume that when guys come to you, they're already ready to take notes and to take advice. But how hard do these guys fight back when you try to impart lessons that are maybe unfamiliar to them?
It depends on the individual, right? And you know, I put in 17 years thus far in coaching and teaching. So now my experience is very hard to challenge, right? But at the same time, I invite the challenges of my teaching because it makes me sharper, right? So if I see something in a particular way, it doesn't mean that it's necessarily the right way, but it's the way I see it, right? So when I see something in that position and somebody challenges me, my job then is to be able to reteach it, explain it to detail, and help them get an understanding of my perspective and point of view. So most people, when you think of working with the best players in the world, that you have to know everything, is actually the exact opposite when knowing things. So if you tap into the other people that are there that are known for being these great players, if you tap into them as resources, you actually will be able to gain a lot of information. It's this quote that we were going over this morning, and it's so funny uh, how it just kind of plays right into what we're talking about. And the quote said, "To know nothing is to know everything."
Yeah.
To
Socrates.
know nothing, yeah, to know nothing is to know everything. And let me give you an example. You take this water bottle, okay? If the water bottle's full, every time I pour water on it, it's going to come out. So if I'm full to the brim, no one else can pour into my life.
Hmm.
So what I have to do is I have to continue to pour out as much of me as possible so that there's nothing left so that people can pour into me, which allows me to continue to pour out to other people. And that's how you become a master teacher.
People must be fascinated by the access that you have, right? Like, the people in your phone, the people that you're working with daily. But obviously, there is a grittier, less glamorous side to the work, as there is in any work. What is the ugliest, hardest, most challenging part of your work?
It could be it's just time. So like let's say that I get up every morning at 4 in the morning.
Hmm.
I could start workouts at 4:45 depending on the individual client that I'm working with. Not to call out names or put people out there with their work ethic, but just to let you know, if you check my resume, you'll see that I'm working with the people that get up at 4 in the morning. I can go from 4 in the morning to 10 p.m. at night with maybe a 30-second breather. in between each client, right? Unheard of. I've built myself the mental discipline to be able to do that, to be able to go boom, 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 boom. Now, here's another challenge that people don't see. It's the ugly part. I may be here in Los Angeles, work all day from 4 to 7 on court, interviews, podcasts, YouTube, filming, business, clients, meetings, pre-draft, texting, and jump on a flight and be in Miami, Philly, Atlanta by the next morning on a red eye, get off the flight, go straight to the gym, work with my client, check into the hotel, eat some lunch, go back to the gym, come back, get on a flight, and now I'm in Chicago and I've hit 3 different places and I never posted. So most people would still think I'm in Los Angeles, but within a 24, 48 hour span, I may have been in 3 different cities and back to Los Angeles.